Zombies have broken into Bob's house. There are so many of them, he's got nowhere left to hide. As they close in, Bob has no choice but to fight back, using everything in his house to set up clever countermeasures and take down these terrifying intruders. But before all the chaos, Bob had just finished renovating his old house. He replaced the couches, brought in some lamps and plants, and even got himself a fancy billiard table. Everything felt so cozy, he could have spent the whole day just watching my YouTube channel. Little did he know a zombie outbreak had already started somewhere else. Soon, the infected became extremely aggressive, preying on every living human in the city. People outside were completely defenseless.
There are too many of them. Police are outnumbered. A reporter urges everyone to stay indoors and lay low.
Bob is frozen in shock, but he has to act fast. Since he learned a lot from watching my YouTube channel, he starts setting up traps around the house. He flips over the billiard table and equips it with spring shooters, turning it into a hidden killing trap. Then he brings out a saw blade and mounts it above the living room entrance, held in place with a loose trigger. This will be his first line of defense. But that's just the beginning. He dashes through the corridor to an axe on the ground. Picking it up, he sets it in position, testing if it can swing down hard enough to cleave a zombie in half. Across the corridor is the dining room where Bob has just prepared a feast for dinner, but there's no time to enjoy it. He has to set up as many defenses as possible before the zombies arrive. He raises the fridge and finds some ice. These studs are perfect for firing like bullets. He mounts 2 revolver shooters on the wall and loads them up. As he rounds the other corner of the dining room, his old gramophone catches his eye. This vintage piece plays music as the record spins on top. Bob ties a rope from the record to the wall, setting up a hidden trap. Suddenly, the front door is slammed hard. The zombies have found Bob. A swarm of them is wandering outside, ready to storm the house. Bob is terrified, but he lures them into the living room just as he planned. Hiding behind the entrance, he grips the trigger nervously. The first zombie slowly creeps in, and at that moment, Bob releases the trigger. The saw blade slides through it with a brutal spin. But more zombies are rushing in, and they corner Bob by the couches. Reacting fast, Bob rips off a cushion. There is a hidden weapon inside. It's his contingency axe. With it in hand, Bob engages in brutal close combat with the disgusting zombies. He hacks them into pieces and luckily makes it out unharmed. Heads up, Bob spots a zombie in front of a bookshelf. Instead of stepping forward, he turns the nearby armchair. The zombie gets knocked out by the bookshelf. It's a hidden mechanism that syncs the two together. However, this smart move draws attention to the zombies outside. More of them are coming in. It's time for the billiard table. Bob flips the board, revealing the hidden shooters underneath. Aiming straight at the zombies, he fires and 3 of them explode instantly. Behind the couch, another zombie leaps over the cushions to take a bite, but Bob grabs the lamp and yanks the chain, sending the zombie tumbling into the fireplace. Bob flees into the corridor with more zombies hot on his heels. Bob knows it's time to unleash the axe. With perfect timing, it swings down and takes out the zombie in one clean hit. Entering the dining room, Bob quickly ducks behind the table. A zombie follows him in, and suddenly, a hidden trap springs up and pierces straight through it. This one is triggered by the slightest tremble on the floorboards. Before the next wave of zombies rushes in, Bob turns on the gramophone. The music draws them inside just as planned. Bob retreats to the corner and waits for them to walk straight into the line of fire. Once in position, he spins the trigger. Ice bullets blast out in a frozen rampage. 2 more zombies follow close behind, but the shooters are out of bullets. In this very moment, the spinning record tightens the rope, pulling down the movable wall. 2 zombies are hit hard and drop to the ground. Bob has defeated the first wave of zombies, but it's far from over. More are pouring in. He makes the call to retreat to the 2nd floor. As he climbs the stairs, the relentless zombies follow close behind. Luckily, there's one more defense line waiting. Bob pulls a lever, and the stairs tilt all at once, turning into a slide. Bob's bedroom and bathroom are on the 2nd floor. As he runs up, he has to come up with more clever ways to fight off the zombies fast. Normally, Bob just chills in his armchair, plays video games, poops whenever he wants, and does a little bit of exercise. But now, everything in this place has to become a weapon, including his teddy bear. He bonds his teddy bear along with 2 skis, aiming it towards the staircase. With one push, he sends it crashing down into the zombies, blocking the way. At least for now. Bob has bought himself some precious time. He takes some shark's teeth and mounts them onto his bed frame. Then he removes his Avengers shield from the wall. Behind the dinosaur posters, there's a hidden slot. Bob stuffs the shield inside, locking it into place. Over the pet door, Bob installs a blade and secures it in place with a set of chains. Then, Bob takes a stake to the gym and straps it to the front of the treadmill. Next, he detaches the heavy sandbag and loads it onto a set of gear trains. So much for preparation, because the zombies are here. One of them lunges at Bob, eager to bite him. But Bob's got traps. He grabs the plant, and the zombie suddenly drops. It's a trapdoor triggered by the plant. Bob runs to the gym with a zombie following him. Just as he reaches the door, he glances at the suit of armor standing in the corner. It's connected to an axle near his feet. Bob kicks the axle, and the armor lunges forward, stabbing its sword straight into the zombie. Facing the gym door is a rack of dumbbells. Bob pushes it over onto a zombie, crushing its body under the heavy weights. Two more zombies enter the gym, and they quickly spot the stake. No chef could resist the perfect T-bone even after turning into a zombie. It takes the bait and starts running on the treadmill. That relentless running could definitely power something else, exactly what Bob had planned. But there is still one more zombie to deal with. As it draws near, Bob yanks the chain and the sandbag swings across the room, slamming the zombie to the ground. Then Bob enters the bathroom, only to realize he forgot to flush. There's a poop sitting in the toilet. To maintain hygiene, he pushes the lever and the poop drops straight onto the head of a zombie downstairs. Now a cowboy zombie chases him into the bathroom. Bob's got a gun. He shoves the plunger into the shooter, turning it into an emergency blaster. And surprisingly, it actually works. After winning the duel, Bob finally has a moment to check out his bathtub. The stunt bike is powered up since the zombie is still working out in the gym. The energy is transferred to the bike through Lego axles. Feeling pumped, Bob hops onto the bike, ready to face the zombies head-on. Now that Bob's ready, the moment the plug is pulled, the bike blasts forward, racing straight toward the zombie and ramming it into the trapdoor. Then Bob returns to his room. He uses the couch to block the door. Later, a creepy zombie starts crawling through the pet door. Bob seizes the moment, releases the handle, and the blade chops off the zombie's head like a guillotine. That was clean, but the couch won't hold them for long, and the zombies are squeezing in. Bob jumps onto the bed, and the wall slot activates. It ejects the shield and smashes the zombie's head. The zombie with poop on its head enters the room, but its attention is caught by the video game. It stares at the bouncing ball, mesmerized by the rhythm, unaware that Bob is waiting to launch his attack. Bob jumps down from the bed onto the white plate, and it flips the bed up like a jigsaw. The sharp teeth on the bed frame pierce through the zombie. Then, Bob takes down the Minecraft sword and pokes it against the ceiling. He is climbing to the attic. To get there, he needs a ladder, but that won't be a problem for him. The attic is Bob's secret base, where he carries out all kinds of experiments. It's filled with potions and eerie equipment. Bob believes some of his potions might be effective against the zombies. So he brings out a web shooter and points it at the ladder. When a zombie tries to climb up, he fires the web and catches it alive. Bob ties up the zombie and places it under the injection equipment. Once activated, it continuously injects different potions into the zombie's brain, testing which one works. After lots of effort, Bob finally discovers an ingredient that temporarily sedates the zombies. Now, using the Lego tire, he needs to make it into a cauldron. Then he will extract a large quantity of the potion. Bob deploys his magic skeleton to work for him. It stirs the potion with a big bone, which you may think Bob knows magic. Actually, its movement is controlled by a hidden mechanism in the attic. Finally, Bob invents it, anti-zombie spray which sedates zombies with a single press. But he needs to get to a safer place. Luckily, he has a zip line connected to the garage where he planned his escape. Bob also knows there is a hidden tunnel underground. But where does it lead? That will be the next story.